would like to invite Dr. Agini Agrawal and our chairpersons are Dr. Alka Agrawal, Dr. Chitra and Dr. Jindal. Please welcome madam.
Very good afternoon to one and all. I think it's good that you people have kept this topic of the nutrition after lunch. नहीं तो फिर तो खाते वक्त गिल्ट होने लगता हम क्यों खा रहे हैं. So and thank you Beenal swapping with me because I have to rush to another hall. So the blessing of God and the Chichuchu and all. My topic is menopause and nutrition, aging gracefully. So basically when we talk about the nutrition, it's a blueprint of the woman. What you eat, that what you become. That is a dictum अपने हमारे हिंदी में कहते थे जो खाओगे वही बनोगे. It was very very clear. It is going to affect everything starting from your brain to your body to your fat and whole body. And specifically in the midlife, when your everything is in upheaval, at this time nutrition play a very big role. If you don't think about your nutritional status, you are going to have lots of harm. So the topic given to me is basically protein, bones, protein, calcium, B12 to speak of. So this is a symphony for the midlife woman's health. Midlife is not merely a biological transition. It's a very very favorite slide. I'm not able to replace it whenever I speak because it is such a golden lines that it is merely a biological transition. It is a social and economic milestone also. Yet menopause is under-prioritized in mainstream healthcare. Although we should not say now because everybody is coming. All big players are coming, lots of apps, lots of websites, food, what not. Even one person came to meet us that हमारे को IMS का लोगो दे दो, हमें को यूनिकॉर्न कंपनी बनानी है, हम आपको 10% शेयर दे देंगे. But as an NGO we cannot part with anyone. So addressing it improves not only individual well-being but social productivity also. Midlife is not the beginning of decline. It is the beginning of strategic self-investment. What self-investment? No doubt that your nutrition, then your exercise, then your spiritualism and your connectivity with the family and the society is going to play a very big role in your healthy, happy midlife. So why we have to focus? It's very important because 1 billion women globally will be in the menopause by 2030. They spend more than 1/3 of their life in the postmenopausal phase. And it is going to be a new patient in your OPD. As boom of the laparoscopy came, then IVF came. Now you are going to have lots and lots of aware, educated, moneyed women in your OPD who comes and they say that we want a good life after 50. And it is a critical health transition window, physically, mentally, emotionally. Not only that, it affects cardiometabolic risk, bone health, mental health and the quality of life. So empowered as a healthy midlife women are key to family workforce and the community well-being. The care is no longer confined to HRT decision alone, but in menopause, nutrition has a profound influence on the health, aging and the overall quality of the life. Today, life expectancy has increased, healthcare trend is changing towards the prevention. There's an increased awareness. अब तो पेशेंट आके कहते हैं हमारी फ्रेंड जो है ना वहाँ पे ईस्ट्रोजन खा रही है, आप क्यों नहीं ईस्ट्रोजन दे रहे हो हमें? And recently I discussed with my younger sister who is working in Washington. She told अब तो कोई अगर comorbidity नहीं है, why not? We are writing a chart to each and every woman. So but we have to follow the evidences and the guidelines. And today WHI is totally re-evaluated and we have a new international position statements. Then we have to see the need. Whether she is from the urban area, rural area, educated, not educated. So we have to see in every way. So this They defy the stereotype. She is educated, active, engaged, but vulnerable. And contemporary care must address her unique life stage, not just her biology. So this focus on nutrition is very important because it needs change with hormonal decline, preventive chronic diseases, CVD, osteoporosis, diabetes, and enhancing the quality of life and the longevity. So nutrition really it is very different. अभी कई बार सोचते हैं जब हम यंग थे तो स्नैक्स भी खा लेते थे और खाना भी खा लेते थे. अभी तो कह रहे हैं ना स्नैक्स ही नहीं पूरा खा सकते हैं, लगता है जाके थोड़े से चावल दाल ले लो और खा के हट जाओ. So the thing changes, our body changes, our receptors, estrogen receptors, absorption capacities changes. So you grow old because your cells stop renewing. There's a stem cell exhaustion, cells answer with the aging. So decline in muscle mass, reduced bone remodeling efficiency, gastric acid decrease, then there's a decreased absorption of the B12 and the iron, and because of the estrogen loss, there's a lipid and dyslipidemia and the inflammation shift. As far as the decline in muscle mass is concerned, friends, I can tell you, I met an accident, and so 3 months I'm almost immobile. अभी चलने में भी मुश्किल होती है, चढ़ने में भी मुश्किल है, 3 महीने में ही मसल्स खत्म हो गए. So that means age play a role, and it really, if you don't work, you are going to lose it. So at 40, women loses about 1% muscle per year, and that is not cosmetic, that is metabolic collapse. So women's future health is decided not by medicine, but by what eat every day. If we see the hormonal changes, there's a decreased estrogen, which lead to the altered metabolism and the fat distribution, visceral fat increases. There's a decreased progesterone. It is not only estrogen. The first phase, progesterone goes, then estrogen start declining. There's a sleep disturbances and the appetite regulation. Then there's an androgen imbalance leading to the visceral fat accumulation. And this sarcopenic obesity is a growing concern because of the increased central adiposity, loss of the lean muscle mass, bone mineral density, and the decline. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is not protein, not carbohydrate, not fat, but it is a medicine, it is a preventive medicine. And as OBGYN specialist, we are not only specialists, we are primary physician for the women. They come to us since when they are in the womb, they are coming to us. When they are adolescent, they are coming with the mothers, then they become the mother and they become the old. हम में से बहुत जो कि इस समय एल्डरली एज ग्रुप में पहुंच रहे हैं, हमने अपने ही पैदा कराए बच्चों के बच्चे पैदा करा रहे हैं. So things is that our relationship is a long. So this counseling, ideally we should not shift to the completely to the नहीं जी तुम dietitian X के पास चले जाओ, dietitian B के पास चले जाओ. The basic understanding of the nutrition should be with us. And multidisciplinary care, dietitian plus exercise plus mental health is our extended hand. They are not our brain. They are our extended hand. So macronutrients in menopause, if we think, we all know there's a carbohydrate, protein and fat and water. So when we talk about the macronutrients, the 50% plate should be having a fruit and vegetable. अभी ऊपर किसने कितना खाया है? सारी प्लेट में डेजर्ट था, खूब सारा कार्बोहाइड्रेट था, थोड़ा सा प्रोटीन था और अमेरिका से सैलेड के कोने में चला गया था, उसमें भी पता नहीं क्या क्या पड़ा था. So actually, sometime I think should we change the way of eating in the conferences also? I think everybody has 6 or 7 conferences in a month in your city. So, and we should take lots and lots of water also. So why we require these macronutrients? First, let's talk about the energy. Decreased basal metabolic rate. So if you eat more, what happens? You will have more of the fat. And we should learn the importance of the portion control and the activity. Protein need. This is the most important thing. Because most of the plate of a Indian typical thali is just not going to have 1 to 1.2 gram per kg body weight protein. सो इट इज़ ऑल द टाइम किसी बोलो डॉक्टर साहब हम तो वेजिटेरियन हैं, हम कहाँ से इतना खाएं, हमारे उसमें कैसे आएगा. व्हेन यू आस्क यू डीप डाइव, यू नो हम तो दाल महीने में हफ्ते में 2 दिन खाते हैं या 3 दिन खाते हैं, और दाल क्या खाते हैं, इतनी सी दाल खाते हैं. सो द थिंग इज दैट वी हैव टू स्ट्रेस दे नीड प्रोटीन at every stage of the life, but at the menopause it is very very important, and it supports muscle mass and the satiety and distribution across the meal, because एक साथ तो खा ही नहीं सकते हैं एक एज के बाद. Then when we talk about the carbohydrate, it should be complex, but I am not going to discuss much. And the same for the fat, we all know it should be the healthy fat, and fiber should be there, and with the hydration. And when we talk about the micronutrients in the menopause, now calcium 1200 milligram per day needed for the bone health and the muscle contraction. You don't need to give the 1200 milligram tablet. If you calculate what she is eating, it also has a calcium. Now, Dr. Anita is going to release one calcium calculator, maybe tomorrow, today or tomorrow during inauguration or the felicitation. There are main things what we are using in our diet, कि किसमें कितना calcium है. So if you put in that calculator and you can came the conclusion that the woman is eating 500 milligram of the calcium in diet, so she need another 500 milligram tablet only. Then between the 800 to 1000 IU per day, and it improves calcium absorption and deficiency, common in India. But friends, hypervitaminosis is as bad. It affects your kidney, and patient can go in a kidney failure. तो लोग जो हर हफ्ते एक विटामिन डी का पैकेट खा लेते हैं, तो आई थिंक समवेयर वी हैव टू से देम एटलीस्ट साल में एक बार तो अपना विटामिन डी करा लो. Then vitamin K2 and magnesium is very very important for the bone mineralization, synergy, and often overlooked in diet. Iron requirement, although it decreases after menopause, so we have to be very careful. In one hand, we don't require so much of the iron as we require in the younger age, but other hand, iron absorption is decreased. So balancing is really necessary. Coming to the B12 and the folate, they need for the cognition, mood, and homocysteine lowering. Antioxidant protects against over-oxidative stress and the anti-aging effect. So these micronutrient gaps in the menopausal woman, what we have to look. So our women are not overweight, but they are undernourished inside. It's a really paradox we have. What I talked about the sarcopenic obesity, and more than 40% are deficient in vitamin D, protein, B12. Whenever we talk about the anemia, we always talk about the iron. We never talk about the protein, even in the antenatal patient also. So even normal BMI women have a sarcopenic obesity. So we have to see not how thin, but how strong, how stable bones are, and how sharp brain is. This is the new questions for our women who really wants to have their golden era or the second spring of life in a full vigor and a full vitality. The 5 nutrition that decide your next 20 years is protein for your muscle and metabolism, calcium, bones, teeth, vitamin D for immunity and fracture, B12, brain and nerves, omega-3 heart and joints, and iron for energy and cognition. So protein really matter. It is the master nutrient, and after 40, protein is not for the bodybuilders. It is an anti-aging miracle drug. It prevents sarcopenia, maintains basal metabolic rate, and enhances immunity. So how much protein after 40? As I already said, 1 to 1.2, but after menopause, some women specifically, if they are osteoporotic or osteopenic, they may require 1.2 to 1.5 gram per kg body weight. And if they have sarcopenia, that means their myoglobin is also gone, then they require even more. Like your younger population who goes to the gym. Nowadays my husband is total gym freak. I have to calculate daily her protein. कितना चिकन खाना है, कितना क्या खाना है. So 1.5 to 1.8 gram per kg body weight. And that is impossible to eat for a vegetarian person, specifically at this age group. So why it is there? Carbo heavy diets, skipping breakfast, and I eat dal myth. तो दाल तो थोड़ा सा होता है, कितनी दाल चाहिए होती है? कोई बताएगा कितनी? एक 100 ग्राम चने में कितनी प्रोटीन होती है? 18-19. एंड हरी मूंग में सबसे ज़्यादा होती है 22. बट बायो अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ दाल का प्रोटीन इज लेस इन कंपैरिजन टू एग एंड चिकन. तो इसलिए अगर आपको कले भी रहे कि 100 ग्राम कच्ची दाल कौन दाल बना के खाता है? कोई नहीं खाता. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो अ मिथ. देन पनीर, टोफू, ग्रीक योगर्ट, लेंटिल्स एंड राइस, they have a better quality of the protein, and non-veg we all know. चित्रा जी और हम तो खाते नहीं हैं, इसलिए हमें नॉन-वेज का समझ भी नहीं है. So muscle is the organ of the longevity. Protein distribution really matters. So बांट के खाइए, 20 ग्राम सुबह, 20 ग्राम शाम को. मैं कहती हूँ 3 बार की बजाय से 6 बार में बांटो. आपके हर स्नैक में जो है थोड़ा सा होना चाहिए. 5 almond and 2 walnuts soaked, 5.6 ग्राम ऑफ द प्रोटीन. और इसका अगर आप डबल कर लो आराम से, एक हिस्सा सुबह, एक हिस्सा शाम को खा के 11 ग्राम प्रोटीन मिल जाती है. सो दिस इज द चार्ट हाउ वी हैव टू सी कितना कैल्शियम चाहिए, कितना वेजिटेबल चाहिए, होल ग्रेन. एंड पीक बोन मास इज अ बैंक अकाउंट, एंड एवरी फ्रैक्चर इज ए साइलेंट इकोनॉमिक डिजास्टर. वी नो मोर देन 1200 milligram is the need. But again, calcium fails. Vitamin D you require for it, magnesium you require for it, protein you require for it. But one thing is also there which you should always remember, that I think more than 50% women are hypothyroid in India. Most of us are taking hypothyroid L-Troxin in the morning. So ideally speaking, if we take there should be 4 hours gap between the calcium and the thyroid medication. Otherwise, this affect the absorption of the calcium again. So thyroid also play a very big role in the calcium homeostasis. Vitamin D, we all know that it is for the fracture prevention, immune modulation, depression risk, and it should be 30 to 50 nanogram per milliliter. More than 100 will take your kidney. So calcium, can diet alone suffice? Maybe sometime. Vitamin D almost never. From वो जो बचा कुछ होता है sunscreen लगा लेते हैं. B12, if you are vegetarian it is not going to cover at all. But मैंने तो non-vegetarian वालों को भी देखे हैं 100 और 50 और 60. And one thing I am 100% sure, I don't know how many people agree with me, B12 orally not absorbed in that way. You have to give the injection if there are real B12 deficiency. And omega-3 unlikely. Can diet alone suffice? I don't think Indian diet suffice. लेकिन omega-3 का मुझे सच में ना थोड़ा सा कम विश्वास है. हम सब बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, हमने omega-3 नहीं खाया है. So B12 is the forgotten neurovitamin. दही में थोड़ा सा आ जाता है, बट दही दूध में बाकी तो अपने उसमें कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता है. यू हैव टू ईट द आइदर मशरूम और नॉन वेज. मशरूम खाते हो चित्रा जी? आजकल मशरूम भी नहीं खाते हैं. क्यों नहीं खाते? जब हम लोग पढ़ते थे तो 2 किंगडम होते थे, एनिमल किंगडम एंड प्लांट किंगडम. अब 3 किंगडम होते हैं, एनिमल किंगडम, फंगस किंगडम और प्लांट किंगडम. प्लांट और एनिमल के बीच में फंगस आ गया है. अब दूसरी चीज़ बता रहे थे, जो खाता होगा वो भी छोड़ देगा. मैंने छोड़ा था लेकिन फिर से शुरू कर लिया. जो फंगस की प्रोटीन होती है ना, उसकी प्रोटीन और कॉकरोच की प्रोटीन एक होती है. इसलिए हम व्रत वाले दिन नहीं खाते हैं, बाकी दिन खाते हैं. सो वाई B12 फॉल्स आफ्टर 50? एट्रोफिक गैस्ट्राइटिस, मेटफॉर्मिन. अभी हम पढ़ के आ रहे हैं डॉक्टर सर से कि सब लोग मेटफॉर्मिन खाओ एंटी एजिंग के लिए, लेकिन B12 कम हो जाएगा तो अलग अलग खाना. एंड PPI सब पैन 40 दिन भर मुंह में डालते रहते हैं. एंड फटीग, मेमोरी इश्यूज, नमनेस, डिप्रेशन. एक मैं आपको और चीज़ बताती हूँ, इसका एक बहुत बढ़िया इसकी डेफिशिएंसी से होता है. किसी को कभी कभी लगता है जैसे मेरे सर के अंदर सारे बाल खींचे जा रहे हैं, और ऐसा लगता है पता नहीं क्या हो गया, इन्फेक्शन हो गया, हमने बाल नहीं धोए, कुछ गड़बड़ है. and this is all because of the B12 deficiency. अब 2 इंजेक्शन लगाओ एकदम ठीक हो जाता है. So vitamin B12 affects in a many ways to our body, and it we require 2.4 microgram daily. Now omega-3, it is basically an inflammation modulator, and midlife we all know it is an inflammatory state. Estrogen loss, visceral fat, and the insulin resistance increase in the midlife. So we are permanently in an inflammatory state. Its benefit is decreased joint pain, triglyceride decrease, brain aging slow. The best source, flax, chia seed, walnut. अगर आपके प्लांट में तो यही इसमें ही थोड़ा सा मिल जाएगा. बाकी आपको sardine, salmon, mackerel, I think most of the people don't eat it. So iron is for energy and the oxygen. We have to see 2 groups. Still all midlife women is not non-menstruating. You may find deficiency, and the post-menopause, if they continue to take iron in that way, they become the overload risk. Symptoms are again fatigue, hair fall, breathlessness, brain fog. So vitamin C inhibitor, अगर आप लेते हो तो आपका आयरन नहीं एब्जॉर्ब होगा, क्योंकि इससे तो विटामिन सी के साथ लेना होता है. टी, कॉफी, कैल्शियम के साथ खाना मत खाइए. So 30% protein, 30% vegetable, 20% healthy fat, and the 20% carb. And this is the pyramid everybody knows. So one day diet, ये मुझे बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है. मैं हर पेशेंट को भी देती हूँ. सवेरे आपको दाल का चीला खाना है, बेसन का नहीं, दाल का चीला खाना है. दाल भिगोइए और तब खाइए. बेसन इज अगेन अ प्रोसेस फूड कैटेगरी. देन लंच में फिर दाल चाहिए आपको. अब ग्रीक योगर्ट अधिकतर लोगों को नहीं मालूम है, तो अपने वो हम कर्ड को भी हम यही कह देंगे. अगर हम रख देंगे सारा पानी निकल जाएगा, तो थोड़े से में ज़्यादा खा सकते हैं. एंड ड्राई रोस्टेड सीड्स, आलमंड एंड वॉलनट. एंड डिनर में पनीर ऐड करिए, मिलेट रोटी लीजिए. सो व्हाट आर द स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट आफ्टर 40? विटामिन डी, B12, ferritin, lipids, and DEXA. Very necessary. DEXA is, yes. So menopause is an opportunity for the preventive nutrition, balanced micronutrients, targeted micronutrients. Culturally adapt diet plans work. Nutrition, cornerstone of the graceful aging. These are the references. So food is not the calories. Food is information for your genes. You cannot out-exercise poor nutrition. So new horizon is here. Let's rise to it. A woman's health is her capital. Let us invest wisely through every phase, every transition, every generation. And this is another my favorite slide. Usually I end with this. We are entering in a golden age of the menopause medicine. With science, empathy, and the innovation, we can transform midlife into a healthy springhood. Thank you for walking this journey. Now go find the way for others also. Give your patient a healthy midlife. Thank you so much for appreciating it. Thank you, Gopal, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you, Beena.